Hey, how goes it? Ken Bozak here to talk about Litecoin and Litecoin accessories. And today I'm with my bro Rob from everythinglitecoin.com. How goes it, Rob?
What's up, guys?
Nice shirt, man.
Thank you. Like that? That's from last year's NYC event.
I got it.
And
I
John
got
Kim.
I got the old logo right here too.
That's all right. It's all good.
It's the OG. It's the OG Litecoin logo.
Yes, sir.
So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience? Let them know a little bit about yourself, where you come from, and what you do.
I'm Rob D. On Twitter, I am Boiling Point LTC now. I used to be LLC, but I made the transition last week. I got into crypto.
So
I
Rob
started.
just trans had a transition. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I had to. It works out. It works out well. Well, my company name is Boiling Point LLC, Boiling Point Mechanical.
Ah.
So I do HVAC work. So I just thought it was fitting to
I thought it
find.
was like that MTV TV show Boiling Point where you just piss people off until they say like Litecoin's a scam. You know what I mean? Like, yo, you should take Litecoin's. Ah, see, if you would have just chill, you could have won 10 Litecoin.
Yeah. But so I got in at the at the beginning of 2018, really. I did a lot of research on it. I didn't invest right away, so I wasn't in at the top. But the more research I did, I felt that Litecoin was the best investment to go forward. And then afterwards, you do more research with the community and stuff like that, and it becomes, you get sucked in.
Yep.
You get a passion for it, and you start doing all types of things for it. And
So what was it? What was one of the reasons? Like most people come for the money, right? Like you were saying, the bull run kind of got your attention, but you stuck around during the bear market. What was it about Litecoin or cryptocurrencies that was so appealing that you decided to stick around, even though we lost about 80%?
well, I mean, you go down that rabbit hole. Everybody talks about it. You start doing research on, the financial system and things like that, and you just once you go in, you're not coming back out. Once you take that pill. So I got involved with the community, and then they kind of, trust me, I've gone through the ups and downs just like anybody else has. But most of my team and East Coast team, they helped me through it. Don't worry, it's going to get better. Just keep pushing along, things like that, and that's it, man. It's tough. It's tough to endure that type of
It is.
drop. You're losing everything. You're trying to support your family. You're trying to keep your business going. Everything feels like it's falling out under you, but if you surround yourself with the right people, they just keep pushing you along. That's it.
Yeah, it was a hard time, but for a lot of people like yourself that saw the all-time high and, like you said, you did more due diligence than jumping right in and, a lot of people decided to second mortgage their house to buy some
Yeah.
crypto during the bull run and they have a different feeling in the pit of their stomach about this than most of the people in this space. And a lot of the people that did speculate and do their due diligence before they jumped in and waited for a price to come down a movement a little bit.
Mhm.
It's a little bit different. I think we have like three different mentalities right now in the space. We have the early investors that have been around since Litecoin was like $1. Then we have the people that got in during the bull run where Litecoin was at its all-time high. Hey, thanks for the super chat, bro. And then we have people that waited for a buying opportunity. They saw that
Right.
the bull run was unsustainable. So there's
Mhm.
about three people, and I think maybe the unicorn fourth is the person still on the fence waiting for another drop. But I
Yeah.
think we have hit that stability line that we just may
Yeah.
not be able to break getting any lower because all those people that what is it? I feel like it was like 60% or 70% of all Litecoin is sold through Coinbase. It's like a weird majority of Litecoin has been sold through Coinbase. But
Yeah.
that Coinbase, how many people were opening wallets back in the day? Like, they said they had like 100,000 people open a wallet in a month. They couldn't even fill a football stadium with Coinbase users, and they were all buying Litecoin. So
Yeah.
they're still, there looking at their Coinbase app, gonna eventually get jumping right back in. But I
Yeah.
do worry about Coinbase listing like 50 shit coins and diversifying everybody's
What, you don't
portfolio
like
too
the
much.
Ripple listing, the XRP listing?
That's so stupid. That was so stupid. It goes against everything they fucking stand for, and they know it.
I don't think they really stand for anything but putting money in their
That is a
pockets,
very good
honestly.
point.
So, I mean, whatever's gonna. People are going to go on there. They're going to see lumens. They're going to see Ripple or XRP. I don't want to call it Ripple because people get pissed off. Some people get pissed off, but they're going to see that 10 cents, 30 cents, you know, zero ox. That thing's low too. So
Yeah, they're gonna look at it and be like, "Oh, this was like before Litecoin went to
yeah,
$10, before
yeah,
Litecoin went to $100." Like, it's not the same, yeah, especially when it comes to Ripple. The benefits and risk reward ratio, you're basically using Fiat 2.0. It's there's no
that's
benefit to it.
exactly what I call it. It's exactly what I call it. But I mean, I don't know half those people are bots or if they really believe that it's going to be the standard or what, but I don't
Well, I
know.
mean, shit, dude. We have cult mentality in our life, and that's when I look at Ripple, I look at like flat earthers and like Scientology and shit, and I'm like, there's a group of people that will pretty much buy any fucking stupid shit you package. Like, really, I mean, it's like
Yeah.
the camaraderie in retardation, right? Like, oh shit, you're as dumb as me. You think the world's flat too? We're fucking brothers. It's like, oh shit, you think Ripple and XRP are the standard? I didn't know somebody out there was as dumb as me. We're
Yeah, right.
fucking brothers. It's the
Well, you got to
camaraderie.
make sure you buy it now because I heard it's going to 589 soon.
Oh,
Yeah,
589.
509 soon.
That is an insane. Well, I mean, the supply alone. So maybe let's touch on like how Litecoin differs from things like that, like the supply, the issuance, the mining. Like, how does Litecoin work as a currency, as a cryptocurrency, as opposed to like fiat dollars and things like that?
Well, I mean, it's great that it came off the Bitcoin core code. You have that stability behind it, the developers, the coders, all that. It's just it's better, definitely better for payments. Obviously, I send Bitcoin transactions and I hate myself every time I do it because I'm sitting there waiting for like an hour, But the scarcities is excellent. The mining, proof of work, all that thing, all those things that lead up to making it sound money, working on confidential transactions now, Mimble, Wimble, all those things. None of that's set in stone yet, of course, but they're eventually going to make that move. I think. I don't think they'll go forward without making that move.
Right.
But everything that's going for it, the Litecoin Foundation, they're always constantly working on it. They have partnerships up the ass that they can't even keep up with. Actually, if you guys go on Daddy Cool's Twitter page, they're working on a sponsorship now. I don't know too much about it, but it's a really good project that they're trying to get involved with. So they're asking for donations from the community for that. So they're always working. They have so many incredible people in the foundation. And that's one of the really awesome things I love about this space because it doesn't matter what you do. You could be a coder, developer, you could be a shirt maker, whatever the hell you want, you can be in this space.
Yeah, I
If you
mean,
got
Charlie Lee
passion,
can't fire you if you decide to start, working for Litecoin Foundation. It's a decentralized community.
yeah, exactly. So, it's not like it's a business where you have to do these things and you have to answer to certain people. You or I can go out and do our own Litecoin thing. John Kim took it upon himself to do the 30 for 30 tour.
That was so
John
great.
Moore, he's always, every single day, John Moore's on the streets pushing for adoption. Everybody in the East Coast team, Zog Lord, every single day, it's like that guy's getting another person involved with crypto. It's incredible. So there's a lot of really good people behind Litecoin, and that's why I think that's going to, speed up adoption and awareness. Bitcoin had Bitcoin has the community, but I don't think they have the community that's going to go out there knocking on doors and pushing that way. They're more of like they're development, things like that. They're not the boots on the ground type of guys.
Right.
Smart, very smart. They're the best coders in the world, best developers in the world. But this is really our time to go out there and make things happen. Years ago it was their time. They did the coding, they did the development, and now it's our time to really go out there and push people, show them what it is, help them download a wallet, send them some, show them how fast the transactions are, and basically tell them that you don't have to rely on what the government tells you, what they want you to believe. be your own bank, make your own decisions, take responsibility for your own funding. So that's what we're doing now.
A lot of people, don't have a lot of Bitcoin maximalists don't really have a problem with Litecoin as much as most altcoins in the space. Litecoin, in my opinion, has probably contributed more to Bitcoin than any other blockchain development. Period.
Yeah.
And I will probably give most of that credit due to SegWit. If it wasn't for Litecoin implementing SegWit early on, we
Right.
could possibly still be in a debate with the fucking developers on whether or not to do it, and it could have been a stalemate. It could have been a weird, awkward time in history for crypto, or for Bitcoin anyway, in crypto. But Litecoin kind of has their shit a little bit more together. People will say it may potentially look more centralized, but I think it's because it's more organized in a decentralized way. It does help having Charlie Lee as a founder, like, hey, point and kind of advise, but he can't really enforce. He's not a fucking dictator. If anything, he's more of an advisor outside of the industry now. I mean, he has publicly claimed to have sold all of his Litecoin, so he's not even a majority stakeholder, let alone the CEO of Litecoin. It doesn't work like that. So I wanted to touch on some of the news of Litecoin and what potentially Litecoin could contribute to Bitcoin moving forward. We're starting to see Lightning Network being played with more. And even Charlie Lee has announced that Litecoin is considering implementing privacy transactions and what that could mean for Bitcoin. So if you could touch on any of the recent news of Litecoin and what advancements may be in the line, we can see what Bitcoin might be able to do with that, because it seems like Bitcoin might be the big brother here, but the little brother is always setting the fucking trends.
Right, exactly. Within regards to confidential transactions, they're still trying to go over what it's going to be exactly. They want to keep the transaction data to a minimum. You don't want to overload, like Monero transactions are ridiculous with the amount of data that's involved in a transaction. So they're trying to reach that happy medium to where it's not going to overload the blockchain, and you're still going to have a blockchain that's on the smaller side. Not like Bitcoin where the blockchain is like ridiculous. If you want to download the blockchain, it takes you like 2 days to do it.
Yeah, Ethereum's way fucking worse. You'll never do it.
Oh my God. I don't think you can ever download the whole blockchain on Ethereum.
Can't.
I think they're at that point where you can't do it anymore.
You need a fucking time machine is what you really need.
Yeah. But some people know how I feel about Ethereum. Not a big fan, but
I got a weird love-hate with it. I love it, but not enough to get it tattooed on me. I'll say that much.
Yeah, so I think everybody wants to say that Litecoin is the test net for Bitcoin, but if you think about it, what's the ratio at now? I think it's like maybe 1.5%. I think it's somewhere around there. So, 65, 70 to 1 or something. If I said, Ken, if you give me $1 million and I can guarantee you that it's going to work for 1.5% fee, would you do it? Most people probably would.
That's not too bad.
So by people saying, oh, it's an expensive test net, it really isn't, because you're paying less than a credit card transaction to test out new implementations like SegWit and things like that. Litecoin is usually doing things first, like with SegWit, and they secured it, allowed Bitcoin to jump into it without really anything bad that can happen, So
yeah, what I'm excited for is the Lightning Network on Litecoin, and then we have Lightning Network with Bitcoin, and then we can start really tweaking those atomic swaps around, where Bitcoin is more likely to be a store of value. You atomically swap it to use the Litecoin as a transfer means of transfer of value, but the store of value would be secured in Bitcoin. People would be moving their money into Litecoin to interact with each other, and I like the concept of that as well, because you don't have to worry as much as people backtracking your Bitcoin transaction address. So if I pay you with Bitcoin, you can kind of do like a Block Explorer search and see how much Bitcoin I have, or my wallet's history. But if I'm swapping Bitcoin into Litecoin through the Lightning channel with atomic swaps, I don't have to worry about any of that. Now, it's completely askewed. I'm using a separate currency when I'm buying my coffee, and I don't have to worry about the cashier getting mad that I didn't tip her because she can see how much Litecoin I have or Bitcoin I have.
Yeah. Well, I like the fact that I always thought of Bitcoin, Litecoin to be savings and checking account. You know, you don't really want to dip into your savings account unless it's a, you know, a necessity. So if you are in possession of Bitcoin, most people don't want to spend it. I mean, it is already that store of value. I don't like spending my Bitcoin. I'll spend Litecoin all day long though. Not only
Right.
because of speed, just because you don't want to continuously spend Bitcoin and not replenish it. Say you forget.
I fucking love it. No, you're right. Like, who uses their stocks, bonds, and ETFs to buy eggs, bread, and milk? You
Yeah,
don't. They're investments. They're your savings. You want to keep that there for as long as possible. But
right.
things that you use and move as a means of everyday transaction, you don't really worry too much about that volatility.
Yeah. Um, exactly. I mean, I think one day Litecoin will eventually get up to that point where it's a store of value. You know, just because of the trend that it's on. Who knows?
Right.
In 5, 10 years, it could be worth just as much, if not more, than what Bitcoin is worth now.
Well, I think it's, due to there's more Litecoin in supply, the issuance and the block times and everything. So there's going to be more Litecoin that exists than Bitcoin. And I think it's about a quarter more or so four,
Yep.
yeah, four more. So I think we're about a quarter away, 2/3 of away from seeing that, because there are more Litecoin
Yeah.
in supply and circulation and will exist. It's going to take about a quarter to a half of the time it took Bitcoin more to kind
Mhm.
of stabilize out. So I think we're a good five, like one more halving, like May of 2020, and then we have 4 more years. So around that point in time, I think we're really going to see Litecoin stabilize out as a store of value. It's
Well, the
just
Litecoin
there's more.
halving is in August.
Oh, well, I meant around Bitcoin's happening though.
Okay, yeah.
That's what I
Mhm.
mean, everybody. Litecoin's a little bit different than Bitcoin in the block speeds, the amount of coin that there will exist, the amount of coins in current circulation, and difficulty adjusting and everything like that. It's all different. So it has a little bit of a disadvantage in that sense that, what is it? Fucking 40 something million Litecoin. What's the number?
What in total supply?
Yeah, like that will ever exist.
84.
84?
Yeah, 84 million.
84 million, and there's only 21 million Bitcoin, so it's going to take a little bit longer for that to, I think, spread out. We have to spread out the Litecoin as much as the Bitcoin has been spread out. And what I don't know if you know this, but what worries me, and I mentioned it earlier, is I believe this is still true. Litecoin is a sole custodian of about 60% of all circulating Litecoin. It's fucking insane.
What do you mean Litecoin?
Like all the Litecoin that exists right now that you can actually use, about 60% or more is in Coinbase. Coinbase
Oh,
has all of it.
wow.
So it's like Mount Gox 2 waiting to happen now. If
That's
something
why
were
you
to
gotta
happen at Coinbase, that could potentially be detrimental to Litecoin because it's such a honeypot of a large amount. It starts to scare me when you see like, and then people don't even have their private keys when they have a Coinbase account, and you
yeah.
look at all the Litecoin that's sitting there. It's just damn it,
Yeah. But I mean,
scares
they
me.
set themselves up good, you know, to be. I guess they're trying to be more like a bank now, but
Yeah, that's what
I
they're
don't know.
trying to
I'm
do.
not fond of Coinbase. Never really was. It's just an
Well, how do
easy.
you use your Litecoin? How do you buy Litecoin? How do you store it? How do you use Litecoin?
Well, I was buying on Coinbase. I mean, it's just so easy. You know, Coinbase is definitely by far the easiest way to get it. I've gone to ATMs before, you know, to buy Litecoin, and now I basically I'll buy it from Coinbase or buy from an ATM and pull it right into my either my hot wallet or my cold storage. So and I use Loaf Wallet, I use EliPal, which is a you know an excellent wallet. I use both their cold and their hot storage.
I
So
have EliPal somewhere around here. It's freaking
love that.
awesome, dude. That hot and cold storage wallet, it's the checking and savings account concept right there in a hardware wallet. I fucking
Yeah,
love it.
it's awesome. I like it, and it has a built-in exchange too.
Yep. Yep. And the
So
back plates are
we're actually
customizable. So I do it for the swag, and they have customizable back plates for their hardware wallets.
yes, definitely. So you know I worked with them to make that Litecoin backplate, the one that's limited to
Oh, cool, cool,
84.
cool.
So I did that with them, and I think they're up to like 30 or something now.
Yeah, I think I kind of claimed mine in Hong Kong because I was with Charlie Lee and we were
Uh,
walking by and I was like, I want one. And they like saw me with Charlie and they're like, you can have one, just email us. I was like, fuck yes.
nice.
I
Nice.
bought an EliPal though because I thought the hot and cold storage software and hardware wallet was a really cool combo, and I wanted to play around with it.
Yeah, well, they use QR codes to transfer the data back and forth.
Yep.
So there's
Yeah, no
no,
Bluetooth, no Wi-Fi. It's pretty badass.
yeah. So, I like them a lot. I discovered them a few months ago, and I try to help them as much as I can with, I'm on the Telegram channel. I try to help people out with any kind of technical
You know what
questions.
I would love to see on their wallet would be multi-sig. I feel like they have so many amazing features that if it was possible for me to give that EliPay wallet or EliPal wallet to my kid, me and my wife or me and my husband, it's 2019, don't be so fucking central minded, guys. I could have a husband and a kid. Me and my husband could give my child the wallet, and we would both have to sign off on a transaction. So we could give our child Litecoin as a form of doing chores
Allowance
and,
or
and
something.
allowance. But they can't go ahead and spend their money on Silk Road and buy heroin. Like we can say no, I'm not going to sign off on that transaction, and my husband agrees. So now the kid can't. Like I feel like multi-sig is a real important means of getting this to be mainstream.
Yeah, that would be good for, kids' accounts and stuff like that. But I was actually talking with Nick LTC on Saturday when we had the meetup, and I ran like an idea by him. I said, I know you can time lock transactions on a blockchain. I said, what if you did a child savings account slash college fund that's time locked with multi-sig, so that by the time they turn 18, bang, the transaction unlocks and the funds are there to spend for college or for whatever. So, I
But
mean,
what about, that's a long time to lose your private key too.
well, no, but I'm saying like, because you know how Litecoin is involved with WegBank. I said if they eventually get into like a crypto type of bank, then you can have that third party custody. So it's like a happy medium.
I see what you
You
mean.
know,
I see what you mean because you have the bank basically protecting your private key,
right.
and then you
Hmm.
could probably have some form of an attorney encrypt it with a password. So it's BIP 138 encryption. So
Hmm.
even if the bank teller sweeps your private key, it has a password on top of that that's protecting it. That another insured custodial. Because if you're talking about being a custodian, you're gonna have
Yeah.
to have insurance for the thing you're holding on to. So there's probably you're right. There's probably going to be some form of a crypto attorney that uses smart contracts as basically as a means of a will, as a living will
Right.
or something. Because
Yeah.
I could just do that. I could send you a transaction into a time locked transaction. And you could even put stipulations in there, like if I don't interact with my wallet, say like my EliPal wallet, if I don't interact with this wallet for 12 months, I want you to just send all of this money to my attorney, and then my attorney will give the money away to my friends and family.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's programmable money. You can do whatever you want with it now.
Everything that the institutional economic system, like what finance does right now, where we have those attorneys, we have those lawyers, we have all those, like notaries, all those people, those are middlemen that we're also going to have to eliminate with code. When code becomes law, we're going to be
Mhm.
looking at smart contracts that replace notaries and attorneys. And I think that's what a lot of it's being built right now. We're building those little, like we have the middleman breaker. We're going to kill the middleman that is the bank. That's done. Like I can send you $1,000,000 right now. Nobody can stop me. You can send it back, and we pretty much didn't lose a damn penny in between, and nobody could have stopped it or prevented it. Nobody's permission needs to be gained. So it's almost damn near inevitable.
Yeah, we're working towards it. It'll happen eventually, but
I mean,
that's
any company like Fidelity is probably going to write a smart contract and call it Fidelity contract, and
yeah,
they're going to get a developer fee, right? Like that's the fee that they're going to get at the door. Is you're not going to walk into Fidelity or call Fidelity. You're going to use Fidelity's smart contract for whatever financial service it provides. And when you
mhm.
do use that smart contract, they're going to have a developer fee that just takes a small piece of your Litecoin right out of the contract, and that's how they're going to make money in the future. They're gonna
Yeah,
have to, they're already inspired to do this because they don't want a Jeff Bezos guy in the garage, making this equity, smart contract, escrow, middleman breaker that's going to put them out. They want to be that middleman again. And that new middleman is just a smart contract. It's not, a whole corporation full of 50 employees and a CEO who kind of plays puppet master.
Yeah. But it's crazy. So I wanted to ask you, do you have a Litecoin wallet on you right now?
I think I do actually. This is my brand new phone. I got the Finny phone, so it has a hardware wallet built right into the phone. It's like cold storage on the device, but I don't know if I set up my Litecoin wallet because I'll be honest, I do use Bitcoin. I do deal with the fees. I use Bitcoin because I want to be the beta tester. I want to fuck it up. I want to break shit. I want to run into problems. So I don't mind waiting 10 minutes for the block. I don't mind paying a little bit more for the transaction fee, but that's more like a philosophical choice at this point. I use Litecoin for smaller dollar transactions, of course. Like if I'm spending anything under $5, I really hate to use Bitcoin, but I try to use Bitcoin as much as possible to incentivize the developers to get better at the fees, to get better at the transactions and make everything better. But I want to check and see if I have one on here because I have the Finny.
If you have it, I'm going to send you some right now because today is March 25th and today is the 84th day of the year.
Check it out.
So.
Right there, Litecoin.
Yep.
Boom. Let's add Litecoin and says... Yes. Oh, in order to do the Litecoin, I have to slide up my wallet. And then I'm going to have to log in because it wants me to log in just so it can install a new application. Which is really cool because this top screen's a touch screen.
Right. That's nice. I like it.
It fucking better be nice. It was $1,000.
Was it?
It's the most expensive Bitcoin hardware wallet ever.
With that. Is that an actual phone or not?
Oh, yeah, it's a phone. It's definitely a phone.
Did you see, did the Samsung came out with the S10, right?
Yes. They have the engine built in. That
doesn't have Bitcoin or it does? Because I heard it didn't have Bitcoin support.
Not that I'm aware of, no. It has non-fungible type support, so I think it's like Ethereum or engine and stuff like that. As far as I know, they're basically doing it for like the in-game technology, not for in-device currency. They're not worried about replacing money. They're worried about replacing content, like the skins in video games and things like that. I did enter my password. What the hell do you mean?
I think this week Apple's supposed to be doing something this week. Maybe launching, not launching, but going over what they're going to be dropping on maybe the next phone. So, of course, people are going to speculate if they're going to have some type of crypto.
No, I just saw today on Twitter that they're talking about their own debit card that gives you like 2% cash back. So they went legacy finance. They incorporated the legacy financial system into their model. From what I saw today, it does not appear as if Apple is even considering using cryptocurrencies or even making
I feel like they're always behind though.
Well, that's the thing with Apple, right? They like to make sure if they do anything, they're going to let everybody else test all the bugs and, be the problem that, they don't want to deal with. Look at your iPhone today. Every iPhone has NFC, near field communications, but you can't use it for anything. I can't send you a file. You can't download music. Like, why is the NFC even in the phone? It's just Apple. I'm having an issue. I'm having an issue with this $1,000 Finny fucking phone. It keeps saying warming up. Warming up. Warming up. Come on, Finny. Come on, Siren Labs.
So what do you think about the people that complain about Lightning Network being third-party trusted?
It is, though, isn't it, in a sense? But you could be your own third party. I could open my own Lightning channel and run my own Lightning node and do all these things, and I don't have to have any custodial problems. And I think that's optional, right? Like, you're not forced into using your lightning channel or my lightning channel. You can make your own, or you can choose to use John down the streets, or you can use Bitcoin Benz, or
Yeah.
it's all optional, right? And then there's multiple ways to use lightning channels. You could use the fastest, the cheapest, or the optional route, and you could also split up transactions. So if you're trying to send 1,000 Litecoin and you find that there's only 2 channels that have 1,001 Litecoin for you to be able to move that many Litecoin through the channel, split up the transaction. Use 17 other channels that have 10 Litecoin in them, and it's still a very insignificant fee.
I mean, their argument is that you're trusting those nodes not shutting down.
You're trusting Litecoin. You're trusting miners not to turn off their miners, aren't you?
Exactly.
You're trusting the electric company not to shut the electric off to the miners, aren't you? I mean,
that is my point. The people that say things about third-party trusting on Lightning Network, they need to realize that all blockchain you're trusting third-party to some degree.
Yo, I didn't develop Bitcoin's fucking Bitcoin core code. I have to trust in that developer,
Unless it's not like cash where I can come by you and drop off a handful of cash to you. If I want to send you any type of transaction, you're relying on third party to some degree.
Yo, I'm having the hardest time getting this to work. It's insane. I'm like seriously embarrassed by this phone not installing a fucking Litecoin wallet. Are you serious? Somebody should tweet out Siren Labs and tell them how embarrassing this is for them to have $1,000 phone and it's taking me like, I'm not a fucking dumb person. I've been in crypto since 2016. Like, I should be able to fucking install a wallet. This is insanity. All right. Yeah, it's new phone problems too. I don't have my old phone set up.
That's all right. I'll send you some later on because you got to celebrate the 84th day.
So we're going to have to, you're going to be sending me 84 Litecoin, right? That's what you said, 84 Litecoin? Thanks, man. I appreciate that. That's really cool of you, dude. So have you used a Bitcoin Lightning channel at all? Have you played around with that?
No, I actually tried to set up a Litecoin Lightning Network node. And I had e-currency hodler, Andrew Yang, helping me out. And something was going on with my Mac and the coding was messed up somehow. So I kind of got frustrated with it because I was dealing with it for a couple of days trying to, I got the blockchain downloaded and a lot of the things that I had to get downloaded, but for some reason I couldn't open up. I forgot where I was getting stuck at, whether it was the wallet or I can't remember where I was getting stuck, but I was like, at this point, I'm going to either wait for Casa Hodl to come out with something, which hurry up on that because
I actually have an interview with her tomorrow, the CEO and founder. Yeah. So, as soon as I figure out what time is it tomorrow, it's Alina, and I interview Alina tomorrow at 10 a.m. She's the CEO of Treasure and Casa Hodl and all that.
Nice. Very nice.
So I'll give her an asking when Litecoin Casa.
Yeah, I know. I've been waiting. There's actually I stumbled across Lightning in a Box, which they do their own Lightning Network, plug and plays. I was gonna get one from them, but then I was like, maybe I'll build my own.
Right, and that's the beauty of this, right? You don't have to use Casa Hodl. You don't have to. You're like, I have to use a Visa, MasterCard, or an American Express card, or whatever they are. I can't make my own Visa card.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I'm not allowed. Like, legally, I'm not even allowed. And then, like, physically, is it even possible? Like, most likely not. Even if I had a resin molder and a magnetic read writer, I couldn't legally make my own like personal debit card. But with this cryptocurrency technology, you're not only able to be your own bank, you're able to be your own payment processor, your own bank, your own remittance, your own escrow, your own trading, your own broker, your own, I mean, you're your own. You're on your own. But that's what scares people away, I think, right? The you're on your own aspect. And I think when it comes to the mainstream of even Litecoin, we're going to see what has happened even with Coinbase is a majority of people are going to want a custodial service.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on the making it easier as we go on to be your own bank, or do we make it easier to verify the services that we choose to use as custodians, right? Like, do I try to not enforce, it's the wrong word. Do I try to like advise you to be your own bank? Or do you think we get to a point to where I can feel safe and say, just use Coinbase because you're probably going to lose your private keys? What do you think's the bigger risk in the future? Me losing my own keys or Coinbase losing my keys for me?
That's how much risk you can take, really. I mean, it is a huge responsibility being your own bank. You know, anybody who holds their own keys knows that. You know, if you misplace something or God forbid something bad happens, you have it on a piece of paper in a house burnt, you know, anything, it could be anything, you know? So it's a huge responsibility. I think for a lot of people, it's too much of a transition, you know, to go from, I'm going to put money in the bank, not even ever worry about it. I'm going to use this plastic card now and do whatever I have to do. And, you know, now you're making a transition over to, I got to remember private keys. I got to keep them in a place that's not going to be susceptible to, you know, destruction, any kind of water damage, fire damage, any of that stuff.
Dude, I lose my house keys all the fucking time. Could you imagine losing your private keys to your bank account? Like, there's no tech support.
Like a ton of money in there. Yeah. So that's why I think there has to be some type of crypto bank. We're going to have to find a happy medium where it's, you know, we're not allowing the banks to, you know, have fractional reserve banking and all this other bullshit that they do. There has to be some type of custodial system where we don't have to necessarily worry about those type of things, losing private keys.
I'm seeing that come out right now with things like Celsius Network. You know, they're insured. So it's an insured custodial service. And they're a lending platform, but every time I say lending platform, it's like BitConnect fucking echoes, and it sucks. But they're in New York City. They have their Bit license and all this. They're anti-money laundering and all this KYC, all that bullshit that makes them, you know, legit. And I hate legit. Like, legit doesn't mean shit. Like, Herbalife is fucking legit and it's a scam. So legitimacy from regulators don't mean shit. But it does give some peace of mind to knowing that, hey, this is an insured custodial service. And I don't know if you knew about Celsius Network, but your Litecoin that you're holding right now in your hardware wallet, you're not making much. It's not doing much. And this is part of being your own bank. When you say be your own bank and I'm sitting here holding my money, well, when a bank holds my money, they're making fucking money off my money. Yep. Why can't I do that? If I'm my own bank, how do I make money off of holding my own money? And that's when I kind of started researching and started looking for this. And I found Celsius Network, where you can actually earn 7% a year, which isn't like BitConnect at all. You're not getting 40% a month. Yeah, but 7% a year kicks the shit out of any bank account holding fiat. So you can put your Litecoin, if you don't feel like it's safe, take that shit out of Coinbase. Coinbase is making money off of your money and not giving you a penny. You're not getting any interest off of the money you're leaving in Coinbase's account. Take it off of Coinbase. You can put it on the Celsius Network and you can earn up to 7% a year, which is what? Yes. 700x on your bank account's interest?
Oh, it's terrible what they give you now.
Well, they charge you now. I don't know about you, but the last time I had a bank, they actually were charging me every month instead of giving me money. I was fucking blowing my mind. I'm like, how's it cost me money for you to use my money to make money? Like, is my money dirty? Do you have to spend money cleaning my money? Is my money annoying? Do you need to hire babysitters to comment? I don't understand why it's costing me so much money to use a bank right now. Yeah. But yeah, I've decided to take a step away from the banks after seeing how much they screwed me in fees, transaction fees, maintenance fees, update fees, card loss fees. Like, I don't have any fees when I lose my wallet. I just private key sync and I'm back to, you know, spending my money. Lose your debit card, they're going to charge you 10 bucks, then another 10 bucks, and then probably another 10 bucks until you figure out they're ripping you off.
Yeah. I like Celsius. You can't use them in New York though, right?
Nope. They're in New York. That's where their headquarters is, but no, you cannot use them in New York, and that's New York's fault. That's a problem New York has, and that might be a financial drain problem where New York is like the financial capital of America, and if they keep going through this route where the financial opportunities aren't being you know, accessible, People are going to either break the law to get in. I mean, we've seen this happen even with stocks or ICOs and shit like IPOs. If you're an accredited investor, dude, I'll give you some money to invest for me. Don't tell anybody about it, and I'll pay you on this. And it's the same thing that's going to happen with New York City, you know, residents. They're going to see, oh shit, I have 100 Litecoin. I haven't made any Litecoin off of holding my Litecoin unless you acknowledge the forks, and I do not. I did not acknowledge Litecoin Cash. I don't have any Litecoin Cash. I never even forked my Litecoin. I ignored that fork completely. It didn't even exist to me. So a lot of people will say that if you have your Litecoin in a custodial service, you're going to miss out on all the forks, and then you can't get your forks to sell for more Litecoin. Acknowledging those forks is nothing but detrimental for Litecoin. So even forking your Litecoin to get the fork to then sell for more Litecoin, it's more detrimental than it is positive. So just ignore forks when they occur. A fork happens.
I don't even know what they're doing now.
Yeah, you don't. So you didn't even fork yours, right?
No.
Yeah, me neither. Everybody was like, dude, did you get your Litecoin Cash? And I'm like, no, because it's a scam and I don't acknowledge scams.
Yeah.
So I think that, you know, the custodial versus non-custodials is going to make a big difference. Like we were saying with ease of use, but now we have incentives, right? I'm much better off having, you know, maybe I don't care about Litecoin, right? I have a bank account. My bank works. I live in America. I have no reason to worry about using crypto because everything that works today works for me. So if I'm holding $10,000, $50,000 in a bank account, I'm not making 7% a year. No. Not at all. Maybe if I'm holding, you know, 100,000, when you got 6 figures in the bank's a little bit more generous on the interest they give you. Banks only fuck over poor people. That's like the fact. Like the less money you have, the more money the bank wants to charge you to use their services. So if you have like 10, 50 grand, you're sitting at your bank and you're looking at it, you're not worried about it as much as you're thinking of the interest, right? That's why it's sitting there. But then you show somebody, put 10 grand, 50 grand in the Litecoin, throw that in the Celsius network, and you're making 7% a year. They're not really worried about the Litecoin volatility. They're just worried, I want that 7%.
You can even use it as I was telling my buddy about it, and he's on the fence about it because he wasn't sure if it's insured. I didn't realize it was. But you can just use that as a traditional savings account by putting a stable coin in there. You don't even have to put crypto in there.
That's interesting. Celsius does do, and they have a higher interest rate for stable coins because they're really in demand.
Stable coins are like 7%. I think Litecoin is about like almost 4% for Litecoin, I think. Oh, it's dead, Idra. It's dead. Here, use my phone. Sorry about that.
Oh, that's the first world problems right there. I was watching a video on YouTube of this device that will charge everything in a 20-foot radius wirelessly.
Huh.
So if he's in the same room, your son right there, right? That's what it, yeah. If you got your phone in your hand and this device just like sitting there, it'll transmit energy right to your phone 20 feet. So you'll never have to charge anything ever again.
Huh.
And it's like working today. This is an actual thing. It's just not hit mass production yet.
Yeah, that's neat. You were at the Celsius thing with Corey, right?
Yep.
Cody.
Yeah, Cody. Yeah, Cody. Well, I'm sure there was a Corey there too somewhere. There's a bunch of people. But yeah, I was in New York City for their meetup, and I went to a couple of their events so far in New York City. I think they have what it takes to appeal to the masses without saying the banks are going to take your money. They're fractured. Like, you don't have to highlight any of that shit. Just say, hey, how much is your bank giving you on interest? About 0.01%. And then you tell them, well, there's this stable coin. You could take your $5,000 that you have in the bank. You could buy stable coins. They're, you know, back to $1. You'll get $1 per stable coin when you want your money back. The difference is you're going to get 700% on top of that interest the bank was offering you.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's
a very key part about being your own bank is being able to take your money, make money off of your money so you have more money for holding your money. That's how banks work. And it's not just having access to your money whenever you want. It's having access to the financial tools that the banks have, you know, kind of monopolized. I can't loan you money without it being a real big problem. Like if you needed to borrow 10 grand and I said, between you and me, I'll give you the 10 grand, give me back 5% and blah, blah, blah. Now I'm a shark. I'm a loan shark. I'm an illegal contributor to the ecosystem of my community because the banks have a monopoly on that solution to a problem. You're not even allowed to go peer-to-peer to solve these problems anymore because they monopolized it.
Yep. I went to a bank last year to take out money from my kids' account so I could buy them some crypto. And it was like everybody in there was like staring at me like I was doing something like weird, you know?
What are your
You know,
thoughts on the future of kids in crypto though, right? Like a
oh,
lot of
my
people.
my daughter's 6 and she loves. No, she's 7 now. She loves it. Loves it.
7? Have you showed her how to use it and spend it and buy shit with it? Because like she can't have a credit card or a debit card. She's too young. But she can have a Litecoin
Like
wallet.
QR codes. She knows, you know, she wants to scan QR codes all the time now. So that's cool. She got the pillow from Bit Ninja, the one with the sequins on it.
Oh yeah. You can like it kind of like it's like a magic pillow. You like brush on it and
Yeah.
it shows the logo.
So she got that, and you know, every time she does something good in school or something like that, she wants me to give her Litecoin.
That's
So
awesome, man. That is really cool. That is like I picture this as an adult now, but like I try to visualize it as myself as a child then, and if this existed. And like I can see it because I was a kid. I was probably like 6, 7 years old, and I was watching Nickelodeon and Zoo Books. Zoo Books would come on the TV all the time, and I'm like, dude, I want to learn about toucans. I want to learn about the rhinoceros. I want Zoo Books. And my mom and my grandmom and my family members, they didn't feel safe buying me Zoo Books because they didn't feel safe giving somebody on the phone their credit card information, because if that person was writing it down and decided to go home, they could do a pull. And they could just pull money out of their account. So, needless to say, as a child, I never got my Zoo Books. I never did. My family never felt safe buying anything over the phone to buy something on television. But if I was like your daughter who has Litecoin and I saw a Zoo Books commercial, I could, if it, you know, when Litecoin and Bitcoin's mass adoption, I just send Litecoin to the commercial and the smart contract, because I wrote in the memo, here's my address. I send you the Litecoin, that's it. And then I just receive my Zoo Books or my stuffed animals or whatever. Like,
it becomes a 10-second process.
dude, what do you think it's like for kids though, right? Like moving forward, like I was 18 before I even decided to give a shit about money, because my whole life up until I was 18, I wasn't even allowed to give a shit about money. It didn't matter how much I knew. I still wouldn't be able to do anything. I can't open my own bank account. I can't, you know, do this, do that. I can't have you send me money. It took forever for PayPal to kind of solve that problem. You know, it was impossible to get money peer-to-peer on the internet before like PayPal. You would have to mail me money in an envelope or a check, or if you felt like it, Western Union, but then they're going to ask me for my ID at the door, and I don't like that.
And charge you up gas and fees.
But like moving forward, your 6, 7-year-old daughter, your children are going to be able to have the same amount of financial utility as a 25-year-old adult. Like they're going to be able to use these tools without any permission. So like the incentive for a child to get better with money is stronger now than ever. Your daughter is going to be more familiar with volatility, transaction fees, the concept of a peer-to-peer network, way before anybody else in her friends' networks or groups. Like she's going to be 10 years old and have 3 years experience before her friends that are 10 years old still got to wait 8 years to get 1 year experience.
Yeah, it's really cool to see, because I mean, even if you see what they're learning in school now, technology class and things like that, and how quickly they pick those things up, that's what I tell my wife. I said, push them. They're going to learn it. You know, they're sponges when they're young like that. You know, let them, even if they don't pick it all up, they're going to pick up, you know, even if they pick up half of what you throw at them. That's more than what I was learning in school.
It's 100% more than what we were learning at school.
So, I mean, it's crazy. Just give it to them. Let them do it. They'll figure it out. They're better than me with the iPhones and the iPads and all that stuff. I don't know how to do half the shit that they do on there. So
I think that, you know, a lot of people say like, oh, it's in the kids' DNA. They just know. And I'm like, well, no, not really. It's the problem is we're so old. We're conditioned to think in a linear way. And children are so young that and malleable that they haven't been manipulated to think linearly yet. Like when a child has a thought, they have a thought in 1,000 directions. We have a thought, maybe 1 or 2, 3 scenarios that we play out because we've aged so much that we think we know the we know the paths to take when a moment occurs. But you tell a kid a problem, he'll be like, yeah, I'll just ride my bike to the moon. I'm like, you can't ride your bike to the moon. That you can't do that. But it was still a possibility in their mind, and like that's what holds us back. When you give a child this currency, they're gonna find better uses for it and different things that like smart contracts. Like we had jelly bracelets on, you know, and Pogs and Pokemon cards.
Yeah, I remember that.
Kids are gonna have their own fucking shit coins. Like seriously, your daughter can run an ICO right now for her own lemonade stand, and every one of her friends can get an airdrop of an ERC20 token, and she can accept that ERC20 token for a cup of lemonade or $1. Now she created her own stable coin. She created her own stable coin to run her lemonade stand because one of her lemonade coins is pegged to $1 because that's what she charges for the lemonade. Now, is the SEC going to come in and arrest your daughter at 7 years old for becoming her own business?
Probably. They'll try.
You're absolutely right. The fucking SEC has no soul. They're a bunch of fucking cowards and mafia hitmen that get away with it using the word regulations. But if the SEC was in our best interest, we would have the head honchos of BitConnect heads already on a spike. The fact that the SEC hasn't even tried to go after BitConnect is a big cry for their success in the future, and they're not going to be around much longer, considering that the regulations that they're trying to enforce aren't enforceable. This is too permissionlessness. Like it's too disruptive. The SEC can say whatever they want. I can still send $1 million to some dude in North Korea, and there's nothing the SEC can do about it. Oh, all right. I wanted to, before we wrap things up, I do want to touch on that Litecoin Lotto and what's going on, man, and all your plans, things moving forward for yourself and what you got going on.
Well, so we started that, I think it was August or September of last year, and we ran it for 20 weeks. It took a few weeks to get off the ground. The first week, it was less than 1 Litecoin we were doing. And by the time we got the ball rolling, you know, we were putting out 10, 11, 12 Litecoin a week.
Oh, shit.
But once January hit, like, because I get like winter depression. So a lot of things were kind of weighing on me. You know, I felt like I needed a break from Twitter. There's a lot of toxicity on Twitter, like people hating on each other left and right. It's crazy. So I took a couple weeks off in February. I wanted to come back, you know, March 1st and do the lottery. And then, you know, I was thinking about it with, you know, legal situations and things like that. I didn't really want to push it too much. I like how it was a small community thing. So I kind of felt like my, you know, my skills were better used to do other things than do a community lottery. You know, some people are upset that I don't do it anymore. And it was real fun when we did it. It was awesome.
Yeah, I saw it over Twitter. I'll be honest, I never really did. I don't play the lottery. I never really got into trading too much. I don't really gamble. I'm pretty conservative, and you know, not so much frugal, but I'm pretty conservative. But I thought the concept was genius, and I'll be honest, I was starting to, like, as you said, like, it was starting to get bigger and bigger, and I'm sitting here watching it as it grew, and I'm like, it wasn't even an option to gamble with my Litecoin, I'll be totally honest. But then as the pot started to grow, I was like, shit, man, I should start throwing like 0.1, maybe 1 Litecoin into this.
We were doing like $2 a ticket, right? So whatever it was at that time, you know, whatever it changed over to $2 worth of Litecoin. So sometimes you could be giving away.
So is it possible to do this like in a decentralized Satoshi Nakamoto way? Could you just like release a Coin Lotto white paper and just,
maybe,
you know, have it decentrally run so nobody, like, you're not behind it, right? Like,
I'll have to run on tour or something like that, you know?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's sort of like how Charlie Lee gets away with being the founder of Litecoin, but not responsible for the things Litecoin has done or been used for, right? Like, if Satoshi Nakamoto was the CEO of Bitcoin, he'd be in a lot of trouble for Bitcoin and ISIS and Bitcoin and terrorist drug use. Like, but there is no person to point at when it comes to these currencies. Even Charlie Lee, you cannot hold him legally responsible. He just created an idea and it's decentrally run now. It's not his project. It was just his concept that kind of just now was stolen from him and decentrally taken over. So what do you think about the possibility of like a Litecoin Lotto, similar, just a smart contract that just runs and a mysterious developer gets a fee every time we buy a ticket? Some random Litecoin lottery wallet, every time somebody buys a ticket, that smart contract is paying the developer that built the smart contract. Yeah,
I mean, that's definitely a possibility. I also thought about doing you won't win Litecoin. So essentially, it would be a Litecoin donation. The donation would go towards the foundation and other things we do for adoption. And then each week we would just have basically like a prize wheel. You know, we'll give 4 or 5 prizes away, pull sponsors in, so that technically I'm not really giving Litecoin away. The Litecoin's going to as a donation. You're winning prizes, so I think I might be able to get around with something like that. So I gotta look.
The problem is they may worry about the cash value of the prizes. That's where it gets real sticky.
Yeah.
If you have a cash, I think I've seen some of this happen with like bingo night at churches and shit. Like you can't have $1,000 or more like item, otherwise it's considered a cash prize and it is taxable and shit. Like. Especially because, you know, well, maybe not. I don't know. Yeah, because they're considered donations at the church for bingo night. It was like a weird thing around here a couple years ago. Some church was trying to do like a giant TV or something, and they weren't legally able to give away the TV during the bingo thing because it was worth too much.
Yeah.
Like, it's fucking weird.
Well, I mean, we'll have to figure something out. But I got a lot of different things I'm working on now. I'm working with Crypto Cloaks and EliPal. So I kind of have something going on with them. I don't want to announce it yet because it's almost done. But Crypto Cloaks, they do like they do 3D printing and design. So if you want like something custom made, you contact them. They'll design it and 3D print it. So they do things for Ledger. They have like the holders for the Ledger. They do Treasure, Keep Key. I think they have something for bill fodder where you put the bill fodder in there. You can kind of hide it under something. So they do stuff for Lightning Network nodes. So they'll have like a shroud for it.
Oh, so nobody can really like basically wirelessly hack your node.
Well, no, it's just kind of like a holder. Like you could put a Raspberry Pi in there and kind of.
Oh, okay. I've seen some that were like, I think Casa just started selling those like RFID proof ones or something like Kevlar for your fucking node. It's insane.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's weird. It's way over. Like, why is that even necessary? But it depends, I guess, right? Like when we think about being your own bank, it's not just for you and me. We want, we want hedge funds managers. We want brokers. We want to get these guys not just, we don't want to be our own bank. We want brokers to be their own banks too, because they're going to be banks for multiple people. And then we have the accredited investors and advisors and everybody that's in the institutional world. We want them to all be their own bank too. So there's going to have to be levels to this shit.
Yep. You can never be too secure. So, when you're your own bank, you have to take on the responsibility and do everything you possibly can to keep it from getting into the wrong hands.
So what are your thoughts on Litecoin implementing privacy into their transactions and moving forward as a potential privacy coin option? No, it won't be mandatory. It's not going to be like a Monero, where Monero is always, the mandatory privacy trend. It's more going to be like a Dash alternative, right? Where you optionally transact on a private trade.
I like it. I like it a lot, really, because it, gives it that fungibility. You can't track it back to something that was used for drugs or whatever it may be. One Litecoin is going to be worth one Litecoin, plain and simple. So, and not only that, if you go to the store, you don't want everybody knowing what's in your savings account, because that's basically what it is. You don't want somebody tracking you back and saying, oh, this person has 200 Litecoin. You follow them back to their house, and next thing you know, they're getting robbed or something. So, privacy is a big thing.
And this happens, man. It happens at the ATM. You go to the ATM today with a Rolex watch on, somebody's probably going to be following you back to your car.
Yeah. So, I mean, you don't display your bank account statements online. So why should we put out our public keys and allow?
Dude, that scares the shit out of me. I actually had that problem when I first started like promoting cryptocurrencies and my social media. I posted, my Bitcoin address or my Litecoin QR code, and people would tell me how much money I already had. I was like, how the fuck do you know this shit? They're like, stop asking for money. You have money. And they show me my balance, and I'm like, but how did you know I had a balance? This is so confusing. And I was just like, oh shit, I'm making myself a honeypot. Like, and this was back when Litecoin was $4. Litecoin went over $100, and people are going to assume I still have all that Litecoin.
Oh yeah.
And if I did keep all that Litecoin, I'd probably look like a millionaire right now. Like I got in when it was $1. I got more when it was $4. I interviewed Charlie when Litecoin was around $3. So yeah, I bought a bunch, but I didn't. Obviously, I trade for Bitcoin, and I did dumb shit. I'm not a fucking expert in this, you know. I did a lot of bad things with good money, and that's what happens.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, it's awesome that you know that you do this. This is your life. You know, you spend crypto everywhere. It's everybody's dream, really. So I'm sure
it's a fever dream, dude. This is a very expensive lifestyle. I can tell you that much. Like, I do spend a lot in Bitcoin transaction fees. That's just a fact. It's a fact. The arbitrage on a lot of the things that I try to do sucks. The spread sucks. Like, right now, BitPay and Shift Payments, both Visa cards that we use for crypto today, they're dead after this month. Next month, we don't have BitPay and we don't have Shift Payments. I can't go to the ATM and get cash for my crypto as conveniently as I used to. So I went down to the 7-Eleven and I went to use the Bitcoin ATM. Fucking insane fees, dude. Insane. It's like 7-8% fee, like plus the arbitrage. So now they're telling me my Bitcoin isn't worth as much as it's worth on the open market. Plus they're gonna charge me a fee. So yeah, it is a cumbersome lifestyle. But the thing is, like, using the original iPhone, it sucked. It really sucked. And that's how I feel like using the first iteration of cryptocurrency technology. It all sucks. Everything sucks. This is not a perfect world.
Yeah, it'll get better.
So what do you look forward to moving forward into Litecoin updates and going more mainstream and things like that as we kind of wrap up the podcast here? What are your final thoughts on like 2019 and where Litecoin may end up before the next Bitcoin halving?
I mean, adoption's happening. We got John Kim, John Moore, the foundation. All those guys are working hard.
UFC? Come on, man.
Yeah, that's
What's
good.
up with that UFC though?
There might be some more stuff in the works. You never know.
I know there is. I've seen some stuff, and I'm excited. I don't think I can talk about any of it, but I seen some stuff.
The Ben Askren thing was an East Coast, West Coast thing. That wasn't a foundation thing. So we did that on our own. So that just goes to show that the community doesn't have to necessarily rely on the foundation to do everything. We can kind of take some of that weight off their shoulders and do things on our own, you know? So
it's really cool of you guys.
Came together and got Ben Askren, and, you know, every day there's something. Every day there's somebody's giving somebody a wallet.
We have to get Ben Askren to give Cyborg Litecoin.
Yeah.
She's so into crypto. It's insane, dude. I didn't realize it, but my buddy Gaston Cruz, he pretty much got her set up with her first Bitcoin wallet. And now I'm like, dude, Ben, we got to get him over. We got to get we got to get him over there to give her some Litecoin.
She's talked to John. John's talked to her too, so they've met up before. John
totally
Kim.
Doable. Totally doable.
Yeah, definitely. I'm very excited for 2019 because I think this is a year where Litecoin is really gonna separate itself from some of the other cryptos as far as adoption and acceptance, you know, in the retail world.
A lot of people would compare the mainstream adoption of an altcoin sort of to Dash. What Dash and Litecoin have done is probably balanced out mainstreaming this stuff like Venezuela and things like that, where the Dash proposal system pretty much stepped up. And I would love to see something like that with the Litecoin Foundation, with like what's happening in Paris, France, where they're kind of going through their own financial problems. They're basically running forklifts into banks to burn the banks down with the money inside. They're not even stealing the money. They don't want to steal the money. They want to burn the money because it's worthless.
Yeah.
So I would love to see like some of that with like Litecoin and the foundation, sort of like what Dash did in Venezuela, but already doing that Litecoin almost. Like it's a huge community that's pushing for adoption in a major way.
Yeah, there's a lot of great people on the team, you know. So like I said, I'm excited. Everybody has their part. Everybody's doing their role. You know, everybody has a role, and everybody's doing their part. And it's exciting to be a part of them because we have people that, you know, do all types of different things, from merchant processing to, you know, just going out into the street and giving people Litecoin wallets, sending them some Litecoin. We have people going to, you know, we got the K-pop concert. John Kim did all that.
That was genius too. That was genius. How can people get involved? So like, people are probably watching this and they're probably interested in volunteering. A lot of people have that nature in them, right? Like we want to give. That's why donations like Patreon and Kickstarter and all these things, they exist because the the
Makes
inherent
you feel
nature
good.
of people, we want to give. So how do I help the Litecoin Foundation, or where do I go to get more information if I want to be a volunteer, or if I just want to start self-employing myself working with Litecoin? It's not like I need to fill out an application process. So how can I get started helping Litecoin in a decentralized, permissionless way?
Well, that's the great thing. You don't have to have anybody's permission to do anything. You can go out there, go to your local, corner store, tell your friends about it, try to get people on board with it, and tell, don't act like a salesman, and you don't have to try to shove information down their throats about banking systems and all that kind of stuff, because a lot of people, it doesn't really sit with them well.
Right.
So just,
Yeah, their brother's probably a banker. You can't talk about my brother like that.
yeah. So, I mean, that's all it really takes. You don't need anybody's permission. You just go out there, boots on the ground, and, do what it is that you feel would benefit the community.
Right. If you're a graphics designer, make some cool graphics for Litecoin. If you're a marketer, then make some cool marketing campaigns. But if you're a salesman, go door to door. I mean, there's so many people that like do traditional things today in the system where they feel like they can't contribute in crypto because they're not going to get hired. There is no hiring fucking process. There's no firing process. There's either do or don't. You either want to contribute to Litecoin, so you're going to do what you can do in a traditional way. Graphics designer, even if you do audio, you can make a sound for the Loaf wallet for receiving Litecoin. I mean, that's just one of a bajillion things that you can do to contribute to this. And I think what I like to do is, even if you don't feel like you have any special traits or talents and you're just like, I'm just a guy, I just want to use Litecoin. Well, you can contribute in a massive way by going to your local pizza store and just saying, do you accept Litecoin? And that's it. Yeah. You don't have to push it. You don't have to try to sell anybody anything. Just ask one question. Do you accept Litecoin? And that will sit with them. And if more people do this, yes, they will eventually accept Litecoin. Why? Not because they want Litecoin, but because they want your money. And accepting Litecoin is just another way to get your money.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, these places, it doesn't matter what you pay them in. If they can convert it to what they actually want, if they can pay their bills, then they're okay with accepting it. That's what we tell all these merchants now. You don't have to accept Litecoin and live with it. You don't have to hold it and deal with the ups and downs. So you take it, you convert it to a stable coin, you pay your vendors, you pay your employees, you do, whatever it is that you got to do with it.
The beautiful thing about that is a lot of smart businessmen, they have a business mentality, and that mentality tells them diversification is key. If you're accepting Litecoin, I'm going to say it, honestly, most likely keeping 5 to 10% of it in Litecoin. If they're going to cash out, they're not cashing out 100%, that's for sure. Right. Holding 5 to 10% of anything in the oddities, in currencies, or any investment, it prevents FOMO. If a business is accepting Litecoin and they're converting it 100% into fiat, they see a bull run, they go through FOMO. The only way to keep yourself from going through FOMO is to have some of the thing you're going to fear missing out on. And keeping 5, 10%, and why I say 5% is American Express is about 5 to 7% transaction fee for a small business. Not Walmart, not 7-Eleven, not like, Costco's or Kinko's or any of these big businesses. But if you're just a regular mom and pop pizza shop, American Express may come in and say, we want 5 to 7% transaction fee. And now when you come in and show them Litecoin and how Litecoin works as a transmission of currency for the transaction fees, they could take that VIG, 5%. They could, all right, it's already spent money anyway. Let's reinvest that 5% that we used to give American Express. Let's put that 5% into something like Litecoin. We're already getting it for free anyway.
Yeah, exactly. I like to keep I've done a couple of things for Johnny, John Moore, Johnny Litecoin. I've done some work for him at his house. I keep it all. Yeah. I won't convert it. Yeah. I mean, it's such a small amount that I take in. It's not like I have 50% of my customers paying me in it.
That's true too. No. Probably not even 10%. It's still early.
He's really the only one. Actually, I've had two people pay me in Litecoin.
So that's pretty cool, man. It's pretty awesome. Now, see, as a business, I would probably say just incentivize more people to do that by giving them 10% off. So
I give people percentage off, and even on all my invoices on the top header now it says we now accept Bitcoin and Litecoin payments. Find out how to use this, revolutionary payment system. and it kind of gets, oh, how do I get the discount? Well,
Right.
have to, yeah, exactly. That's what I do. So plant those seeds. Eventually they'll
Exactly,
grow.
guys. Plant the seeds, and what I say is, I implore you guys, just take out your phone, make a little video today, walk into a small store and just say, hey, do you accept Litecoin? And upload the video with hashtag do you accept Litecoin, and let's see how many businesses we can get to change their mind in 2019. Let everybody know where they can find you, Rob, and everything you're up to, where they can get in touch with you on the internet.
Twitter is at Boiling Point LTC. My YouTube channel is Official Litecoin Lotto. And that's pretty much it. You could visit my website, everythinglitecoin.com, that I am building out for the community. You could go on there, find out about Litecoin, what is Litecoin, how to accept it, where to spend it. And you'll find out about the foundation members, some of the East Coast members. So I'm continuously building it out. It's gonna look totally different in a few months. So it's a long process, but we'll get there.
Hey guys, so check out everythinglitecoin.com and hit up Rob on Twitter, Boiling Point LTC.
LTC, yep.
That's the one. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning into the podcast. I really appreciate this, and I really hope that even one person goes out, opens their phone, walks into a pizza shop and says, hey, do you accept Litecoin? That's all we need. That is the smallest thing that you can do to fill the void of what isn't happening right now. And that's the mainstream media saying it's for drugs and shit when we can make it for pizza. It's up to you guys. So get out there and ask if we can do that. And don't forget to share this out. Pound the thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're on YouTube or whatever. And have a day.
Thanks, Ken.